Hi guys, today we're going to read A Wild Animal. Chapter 1, Goodbye. Mr. Butler watched the little fawn trottering around the yard. After Goldie barked happily, and the little fawn tossed his head and did a small dance. I think it's time for us to take the fawn to somewhere who can help him learn to live in the wild, said the vegetarian. Kelsey and her dog Goldie had been taking care of the little fawn ever since they had found him under the porch of Casey's house. No, said Casey, no, he's too little to live in the woods by himself. He is growing up, you know that, said Casey's father. He needs more room. He can't live in the house with us. He could make him a barn or something, said Casey. She pointed to the yard. We have a huge yard. There's plenty of rooms, but that wouldn't be fair to him. He should be in the wild with the other deer, said Mr. Butler. Doctor. He put his hand on Casey's shoulder. I know how much you love the fawn, but you need to think about what would be best for him. The next day, Dr. Butler and his son Josh came over with their van. Casey and her dad lifted the fawn into the back of the van. Josh and Casey sat in the back with him. Can Goldie come? She will want to say goodbye to, said Casey. Sure, said Dr. Butler. Casey's dad opened the door and Goldie jumped into the van. Goldie doesn't know what's going on. She thinks she is the fawn's mother. She is going to be very upset, Casey said to Josh. Chapter 2, Getting Ready for the Wild. This is Miss Martin. Dr. Butler told Casey and her father she has helped place many wild animals back into the wild. Miss Martin smiled at them and turned to the fawn, who was standing shyly next to Goldie. She said, Well, who do we have here? This is one fine-looking animal. She scratched the fawn's ear. Miss Martin took them around to the back of her house. They sat on some law chairs and looked out at the huge forest that started at the edge of Miss Martin's property. I will be teaching the fawn how to find food and take care of himself, said Miss Martin. There are some young deer that live nearby. I am hoping they will let the fawn join them. But what if they don't? Asked Casey. Well, he said, will still learn to be on his own when he is an adult. He will find a mate and start his own family, Miss Martin told her. Casey knelt down and hugged the fawn. Goodbye, baby, she whispered to the fawn. I will always remember you. I hope you will remember me. She kissed the fawn's nose and scratched his ear. Goldie nuzzled at the fawn's neck. She seemed to know they were saying goodbye. Casey's dad had to pull Goldie to the van. Sometimes Casey's father drove her over to Miss Martin's so she and Goldie could see the fawn. Each time she less like a baby. I wish he could live with me, she wept. I know, honey, said Miss Martin, but it just wouldn't be right for him. I will never see him again, Casey cried. No, but you will remember him, said Miss Martin. He will always be in your heart. Chapter 3, Home Again. School was out for the summer. Casey and Josh were building a tree fort. Josh was whistling as he hummed away. Suddenly, Goldie started yipping. Her ears were up and her tail was wagging wildly. Casey climbed down out of the tree. What is it, Goldie? Goldie raced towards a clump of trees. Casey ran after her. She stopped in amazement. Baby, she said. It's Baby. Josh ran up. Hey, he said. It is Baby. There, looking back at them, was the fawn. Behind the fawn were two young deer. Goldie ran up to the fawn. The two other deer turned and ran. The two other deer turned and ran into the woods, but Baby stood and let Goldie run around and around him. He tipped his head and tapped his hoof in the dirt. Look how big he is, said Casey. She walked slowly toward him. Hey, there, she said softly. Did you come by to say hello? You are so big and beautiful, Goldie. Our baby is growing up. Look, he's a handsome deer. Goldie yipped and danced around. Suddenly, Baby turned and was going. Casey had never seen anything as beautiful as her fawn, leaping around, through the trees after his friend. He came back to see us, Goldie. He will visit us again. And now Casey knew her father and Dr. Butler were right. Baby needed to be free and live like other wild animals, but he did remember them and had found his way home. She knew he would come again. Hope you guys liked this video. Make sure to like and subscribe to my channel. Goodbye.